We'll try this again.
Oh.
All right. Again, for the third time, welcome to the 2026 League of Women Voters, Kansas City, Jackson Clay Platte County Annual Meeting. We've got a lot of new members here today. One just joined last night, Gretchen. One just joined today. And everything, but welcome all new members. Take time today to meet some of your fellow members around here today. We have a lot of business to get through. Hopefully everybody has reviewed the information that was sent to you through the call. You should have received it at least 2 opportunities to have received all of that. I wanted to take a quick minute to indicate that this is our annual business meeting where we approve the budget and elect new members to the executive committee and board of directors. I want to thank our tech team today. We've got Jim and Ann and Barbara, and we've got Joyce. Everybody's helping put this on today. This past year has flown by, and I'm just going to go very quickly and give you a scope of the work that we've done this past year. New citizen voter registrations, and we've done 3 of those so far in 2026 alone. I didn't go back and count all of 2025. Other voter registration events have included schools, the Pride Festival, the John Lewis Day of Action, health fairs. We've had work parties where we've made buttons and highlighted the voter registration cards. We've had book club, online media literacy classes, committee chair monthly meetings, board meetings, voter education meetings, John R. Lewis Day of Action, nonpartisan and DEI training, leadership academy, forums and observer corps, monthly meetings regarding gender equality task force, immigration pathways, the Citizens Initiative petition, and how to raise a citizen. We've participated in Women's Equality Week with a visit from our national president, Diana Wynn. We've had new member orientations and happy hours, fundraiser, Peace, Love, Vote. We've had the League of Women Voter Missouri Power Hours on Medicare, legislative action, rights and responses, immigration enforcement. And there's one coming up that I'll talk to you about later. There's one coming up that's going to be very important. It's on the budget and the income tax. We had a We Give Wednesdays at Shop Girls. We've participated in No Kings 2.0 and 3.0. We've got voter guides and 411. Our Vote 411 people have been busy. Social media, updating flyers. Our website team keeping everybody updated. The e-voter, we've got 2 new members that are helping us put out the e-voter back to Club Express. That's Laura Gowans. We want to thank her for her work. But now we have Annette and Jenny. We've had mix and mingles by our municipal membership team, and we've had municipal elections that we had to get through. We also have a new board handbook, thanks to students at the University of Central Missouri, their tech writing team. That was their project this last semester, and they're going to work on one next semester for us on a new policy handbook. So we want to appreciate the work that they've been doing. And then coming up, we have the U.S. Biannual Conference coming up in June. We're going to have 2 members attending in person and 4 members attending virtually. We've got a League of Women Voters Missouri Spring Conference coming up. We have Ham Bingo, if you haven't heard yet, on Wednesday, June 3rd. So if you want to join us for having some fun, I have never been, so I'm looking forward to it. We've got ballot measure presentations. There's already, I think, 5 of those that have been put on the calendar. We have August primaries. We have the November election. And we have a lot of vote no campaigns that we hopefully will be working on the 2 initiative petition type petitions, the abortion, the income tax, Respect Missouri Voters, redistricting. So we've got a lot of work that we're going to be doing coming up. Countless hours of work that happens only because of our volunteers and the people like you. So we appreciate your participation in being here and helping the league, because we are grassroots, which means that we have to survive on money that's donated to us or from your membership fees. That's how we get our information out to the public and the community. And I will tell you that walking around or just being at places the last few months, even just Thursday night, we were told how important the league is in getting information out to everybody. So proud of you, proud of everything that you have done. Our chairs, everybody has been doing such great work. So thank you. We needed, it was my understanding, we have membership as of last night of 286. So we needed 44 people here today. And I think we have surpassed that. But I will just make sure that we've got, yes, it was my understanding we have like 20.
We have 59.
59. So wonderful. Thank you, everybody. So we have a declaration of quorum. It didn't move.
Arrow to the down arrow.
Oh, you told me to hit the other one. Still not moving.
Oh, sure it's not. Oh, because it's not. It just wasn't selected. Oh, sorry. Just click on the pad.
Okay.
Advance.
All right. So just going over a few things. This is the agenda for today's meeting. And again, you should have received this, so I'm not going to spend much time on it. These are the rules of the annual meeting. When the chair recognizes a member, the speaker will give his or her name unless the chair already has identified the speaker by name. Each speaker, when recognized, will be limited to 3 minutes of comments. Any member wishing to speak may do so before anyone may speak a second time on the same subject unless there is a point of clarification. Motions related to program items shall be made verbally and in writing. Anyone proposing a non-recommended item for study must submit to the chair in writing a plan for implementing the study and specify the member who is committed to chairing the study committee in case the leader is someone other than the person proposing the study. Items relating to the program shall be discussed in the same order in which they were presented to the members of the meeting, and direction to the board for members shall be given verbally, and if complex or lengthy, both verbally and in writing to the secretary. Some rules of the Zoom room. Feel free to introduce yourselves in the chat room, but once the meeting starts, no personal chats between each other, please. And please put yourself on mute. The same rules for the annual meeting apply. We've got people watching the Zoom room for questions or comments. We must be able to see your votes, so know where to find the raise your hand symbol or have your video on where we can see you. Put your questions in the chat room and that will be monitored. And I do want to just clarify, because I know we have some visitors today that are not members, and that might be true on the Zoom. Remember, only members can vote on the agenda today. Okay, our notice to members, Elizabeth Darr is the parliamentarian for our annual meeting today. And following the procedure of following years, the executive board, made up of the president, vice presidents, treasurer, and secretary, will approve the minutes from this annual meeting to be submitted to membership for final approval at the 2027 annual meeting. So what we did was the executive committee approved. We presented them to the board, who also reviewed them before we are presenting them to you today. So they have been through several channels. So do I have a motion to adopt the meeting rules and today's agenda?
Move to adopt the meeting rules and today's agenda.
Okay,
A second.
and we have a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of adopting the meeting rules and today's agenda, please raise your hands. And give us a minute, we're counting. $30, so we're good. Anybody oppose?
So we need to get the chat room.
That's okay, they're all. Okay.
People
Okay.
here
So we'll say 24 in the chat room.
So 24 and 30.
Okay, well, does anybody oppose? Okay, I would say that that motion passes. Thank you. Okay, you should have had an opportunity to review the minutes from the May 10th, 2025 annual meeting minutes. They were presented in the call. I'm not going to read them because I don't want to take 10 minutes to do so. You've been given the opportunity. Do I have a motion to approve the May 10th, 2025 annual meeting minutes? Cindy,
I move to approve the minutes as presented.
thank you. Do I have a second? We got Judy Ann, we have Janice. Okay. So the minutes of the May 10th, 25 annual meeting were, have been, there's a motion to approve them. Do I have a second? We've had a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand.
Thank
Check in the chat room. You can put your hands down. I don't, you have to. Okay.
Don't say that.
Oh,
Don't say that.
not in the chat. Okay, not in the Zoom, in person. Okay. Anybody oppose?
That you need to wait a minute for, so we gotta.
I will
give
wait.
people a chance to put their hands down in the chat room. We still have hands up in the chat room. Can you please ask them if they are opposing or?
If you have your hands raised in the chat room, we need to know if you are in opposition of approving the minutes or if you just forgot to lower your hand.
Thank you. I took care of it.
Okay, so we don't have anybody opposed?
One hand up.
Oh.
Okay, well, that's,
But
we've
it's
still
been-
got majority
it's been
vote.
up the whole time.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you. All right. Too many paperwork. Okay. Okay, the board recommended program for 2026 and 27 again was provided. This is what the program is. It's the same program basically that was approved last year. The league shall focus its resources to engage in the efforts listed below, increase trust in democracy, increase voter turnout, protect voting rights, increase adults' voter knowledge and student education, increase collaboration with other organizations. There were no changes to positions recommended to the board or by the board, and no program studies. No studies were recommended by the board. Do I have a motion to adopt the board recommended program? I got Laura.
I move that we adopt the board recommended program for 2026-2027.
Do I have a second? I got Rita. Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand.
Same. 22 and 31.
Does anybody oppose the recommended program?
Oh, hands down first. Tell them hands down.
Hands down first, unless you're in opposition.
And give them a sec.
Do you see any opposition now?
Nope.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Done that. I will just, for your information, indicate that there were no bylaw changes recommended by the board. But I do want to tell you that we have, the executive board has been reviewing the bylaws. We're trying to update them. We're trying to review them compared to the US bylaws and to the state of Missouri bylaws. And we will continue working on those. And obviously any changes that are going to be made will be presented to the membership for vote. But we are working on that. It's time for the treasurer's report, so I'm going to introduce Rita. I don't know the safest way, Rita. This one's shorter.
I'm gonna go this way.
Okay. Thank you, Mel.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I've done this a number of years and it's usually pretty straightforward. So hopefully it will be this year as well. So what do I press here to move the slide?
Just hit that, is what she was telling me.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So this is for on the left-hand side of your screen, if you're looking at it, the report. This is our report for the balance for the profit and loss statement. So our expenses as through March 31st, 2026. Okay, so our income was 38,500. Our expenses are 22,100 and our net income was N16. Our balance sheet, which includes our savings, which is not included in the other one. Our balance sheet is we have cash of 103. We have investments of 77.6. We have as of March 31st, we have had liabilities of 21.8, which I'll explain that in the next slide, and the equity then of 181. Okay. So I'm going to ask for questions as I go along because I think that'll be easier than having to flip back to certain slides. So does anybody have any questions on this? No. Okay.
Anybody in the chat have any questions? Nope.
Okay. So the liabilities. So the liabilities of 21.8 are because we work on a accrual system for our accounting, which means that if we get a grant and it goes over a year, which we did, we got a Health Forward Foundation grant started last year on July 1st. We got it for 30,000, but it goes for 18 months. And so the money that we are not going to spend for this year from that grant went into a liability account to be spent next fiscal year. Also, our fiscal year runs from July 1st to June 30th. So that's why that liability is there. That liability will be gone by January, probably by December 1st, I'm sure, because of all the expenses we will have for the November election. So, so I just wanted to clear that up for everybody, so you didn't think that it was something that, you know, we're not paying or whatever. Okay, so that's what that is. Okay. So everybody was sent the budget, and I can bring it up here if you'd like. But okay, I'll bring it up. Okay. I don't know how to make this bigger on here.
So it says 100% up on.
On the left, there you go. Okay. Increase this. Okay. Okay. So again, our fiscal year runs from July 1st to June 30th. The first column of numbers, first is the income side, and our first column of numbers is for this budget year, which will end on June 30th. So this is the income we have received as of March 31st. Okay. And these are the categories that we received it in. The second column will be our, the first column is our budget that was voted in. The middle column is what is actual for this year so far to March 31st. The third column is our draft budget that you're going to be voting on. Okay. So you can kind of see that where we stand. So I'm going to scroll down here. So our total income we expected for the entire year we voted in last year, we wanted to raise 56,418. And we have actually brought in 60,000. Now, one of the things I want to mention on this income side is that when we voted this budget in last year, we had applied for the Health Forward Foundation grant, but we had not gotten it. So it could not be voted in as part of the budget for FY26. So that's why we had unrestricted funds, which would have come out of our savings of 23 plus. But we did get the 30,000. So we didn't have to go into any of our savings for this year. Okay. Yes.
So, I'm sorry, the 60 was what we brought in? I thought
So
that was
far.
the budget for next year. I
I'm
thought
sorry.
the middle
I'm
was
sorry.
the-
Yes.
we
Yes.
brought
You're right.
in.
Right. You're right. So we've brought in 38. But again, and we have, in this budget, we do have the Health Forward Foundation grant under grants, the 13,881. But we only have the portion of the grants that we are going to spend this year in that 13,000. So liability, going back to that liability account again, it was 21,800. So the 8,200 is what is included in that grant amount. Okay, we also did get some smaller grants from LWVUS and LWVMO. Okay. And you'll see in grants for the budget you're voting in, you'll see the liability amount of 21,800. Okay, in that last column. So that's from Health Forward Foundation. So that's the only grant we have right now that we need to account for in this proposed budget. Okay. Expenses. So expenses, again, the budget that was voted in is the first column, what we have spent so far, and the budget for next year. So I'm not going to go through this in detail. I think one of the things that you'll see in the budget from last year was 30,000 for an employee, or for this year, not for our next year budget. We had an employee from September to December. They left, and we decided not to go that route anymore. We decided to use contractors. It's much simpler, it's cleaner, and it's easier for the treasurer. And it's also easier because our work is done in spurts. It's done in spurts around the elections. And so that's when we need a contractor to help us with any number of things. So that's why we decided to go in that direction. And further down in this budget, you'll see where there's a contractor line item. Okay. So this is what we have. This is where the majority of our money gets spent that you will see. It is for printing and supplies, advertising, and contractors. Those are going to be our major line items that everybody in the league is actually going to see. So that candy that you dole out at voter registration, or the cards, palm cards that voter education hands out, or any of the advertising that will be done for the November election for Get Out the Vote. Those are the things that you are going to see that are in these line items, okay? So that's what those are for. Okay,
Okay.
yes.
So our income, it looked like was about $20,000 less than we budgeted for.
Correct.
And then it looks like our expenses were about $30,000 less than we budgeted.
Exactly.
So we're in good shape. But we should maybe be spending more.
Well, the board did notice that. I have to tell you, the board did notice that. And I think, so our big expenses come every other year. So they come for a national election, they come for like this November election. So we generally have major expenses for every other year. Sometimes also, I did want to draw your attention to one other thing. Let me just see where it is. Travel. So last year, it was suggested to the board to include finances for renting a bus to go down to Jeff City at the beginning of a legislative session or when you meet your legislators or something like that. And that was fine. We put it in the budget and membership voted it, but then nobody wanted to spearhead that effort. So it didn't happen. So those are the kind of things that you will find are in the budget that are just not going to get expensed. So I just wanted to point that out as a reason also that sometimes we don't spend as much. Yes.
Okay. Is there a budget for the August election, since there's potential for a lot of pieces, things to be on the ballot?
For the what? I'm sorry.
August election?
Yes, yes.
You need to repeat your question.
Oh, I'm sorry. She wanted to know if there was expenses for the August election, and there are. So I'm aggregate here. You can spend it on the April election, the August election, the November election, whatever. And I'm going to spend just a second talking about how this gets pulled together. So I go to all the committee chairs and I say, what are your expenses for the year from August to November to April and beyond? And they fill in their budget for printing and supplies. How that gets, when that gets spent is up to them. So if somebody comes to me and says, we need more POM cards or we need money for printing for Vote 411, that's fine. I just take it out of printing. I don't look at the time frame. So you're good. Okay. Okay. So, any other questions on this? Yes, ma'am.
The advertising promotions
Mhm.
really went up.
Well, it did, and again, I'm gonna I'm sorry, she is asking about how much we're spending on advertising. So two things happen with that. One is clearly that this November election is important, and we need to get a lot of advertising out about that, especially for Get Out the Vote. The second thing is that advertising has increased. As everything, never see anything go down. So when we did a cursory, how much would it cost to our advertisers that we worked with last year, it came back higher than it had been before. So that's also part of it. But again, I'm going to say that this amount for advertising, it may even go up especially for the November election. And again, this is the aggregate of what all the committee chairs, from forums to voter education to voter Get Out the Vote to all of them, said this is what we want for advertising. This is how much we want to throw in the bucket for advertising. So the board said, okay. Sandy.
Would this be a time to bring up potential fundraising or later?
Our fundraising efforts seriously are going to increase for this year as well. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what you would want to say about it.
So this would be for optical. So
Oh, yes,
So for
yes.
August to November, I'm going to note out and push that.
definitely.
We get $300 of an election, and I'm going to get $900 this year for 3 elections.
Yeah, so Sandy Eads, the question is this a good time to talk about Adopt a Poll fundraiser, which it is. So I know a lot of our members work at the polls for election day, and Sandy runs, Sandy is connected with the election board. So he works with some of the members, especially whoever cuts the checks for the employees who work on that day. And if you want to donate a portion of whatever you make, or if you want to donate the entire amount, that person will send that check directly to me if Sandy has your name ahead of time, and he can let him know. So especially for major elections in November, we usually get a sizable check because Sandy really is good at beating the boards and saying, hey, guys.
August is the same opportunity.
Yes, every single one of them are the same opportunity.
Typically, we need 10 to get over a threshold, so the Board of Elections will then cut the check directly. But if we don't, give it to whoever takes Rita's place.
Yes.
I'll be wrong, but I'd like to see more than, so.
Yeah, so, so that's just an opportunity to donate to the league, one of the other ways. And you'll hear more about that from Sandy as we get closer to election time. So yes. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, then Mel, do you want to take the vote? Or do you want me to do it?
All right.
Okay. Oh, it's not. So do I have a move to adopt the draft fiscal year 27 budget?
Yeah, Barbara Calvert, and I move to adopt the budget as presented for the fiscal year 2027.
Okay, second?
I'll second that.
Great. Okay. All those in favor?
Thank you. 31.
I'm not seeing them.
Wake up, Jim.
Encourage the Zoom room to vote, please.
Could the Zoom room raise their hand if you're in favor of the budget to be passed?
There we go.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
20.
Alice has a question.
Who seconded?
Did anyone second?
Tom.
Timothy.
Thank you.
Timothy.
What's your last name?
Juan.
Timothy Juan.
So 22.
That's just for the benefit of our.
Okay.
Okay, 22 to Zoom 30.
Okay.
And now ask them to lower their hand.
Okay, if you could all lower your hands and then only raise them if you're opposed.
0.
Okay. And do we have any abstentions? No. Okey doke. Back to you, Madam
Motion
Chair.
passes. Thank you, Rita. I don't think you understand how much work Rita does for the league, but you can just explaining, yes. Okay, I can't get this to move now. Oh, I think she went to her, I know why now. I don't know how to get back from, she brought up on the screen. Okay, then I need to move it. Oh, it had to be on there. We've already done that. All right, the next. Yes, we have is the report of the nominating committee. So I'm going to let Elizabeth Dar come up and present that.
Is it, do you have a slide for Sue?
Yes, I do. I'm going to hand you that though first.
Hi, everybody.
I've just got that part of it.
And the mic is only for the Zoom room. We still have those shout.
Okay. Let me just see what you guys are seeing on Zoom. Yes. So just as a little preface here, the nominating committee every year is charged with selecting the people for the office on various offices on the board for the next year. And the board is divided basically in half, with half the board being reelected in one year and then the other half being elected in alternative years. And so this year we had various incumbents, all of whom, with the exception of one, accepted renomination. And so that was easy. And of course, the one is our treasurer, who is, for those of you who don't know, it's Delaware, right? Rita is moving to Delaware. And that was as far away as from here as she could get. So, but we absolutely wish her the best. And so the current nominating committee, I'm obviously the chair, or I wouldn't be here, but I want to thank my members, Joyce Villeneuve and Ann Calvert and Rita Golden, who was actually not supposed to be there, but she stuck around, which we really, really appreciated. And so the nominations are for Vice President Judy Ann Goldman, Treasurer George Harris, and that's our new position or our new member. Board of Directors are Janice Comer and Greg Woodhams. And then, and I'm really, really proud of this. In the past, the new nominating committee has been sort of selected as people are rushing out the door at this meeting, and I mean that almost literally. And this year, it is the charge of the nominating committee to come up with nominations for its own committee for next year. And so I am so proud to present the nominating committee for the following year because I think it's the strongest, certainly in my recollection, it's the strongest that we've had. Both Ann Calvert and Sandy Eads are past presidents of our league. Cindy Cart is a past secretary. And for those of you who've never been secretary of something, the secretary knows everything. And Joyce Villeneuve has agreed to continue on. And so I don't think it's appropriate for me to hold this election. I think you have to do it. Okay. But thank you for the people who have served. Thank you for the people who will be serving. I think we have a wonderful team selected for next year.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for you and your team and the work that they've done. I do need to know if there are any nominations from the floor or the chat room.
No.
I see none in person.
No.
Okay. Let me go back, sorry. Do I have a motion to accept the nominating committee report? Anitra,
I move to approve the slate of officers and directors as presented.
do I have a second? Sandy, Eads? Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hands. Okay. You can put your hands down here. Okay,
2 in the chat.
22 in the chat. Okay, anybody opposed, raise your hand. Alice, did you have a question?
Don't know everything as secretary yet. Maybe I will, but, and I particularly don't know who seconded that.
Sandy Eads.
Sandy did, thank you, Sandy.
Okay. Anybody opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank you. Welcome the new members. George Harris is in, I think, the chat or in the Zoom room. So, and I will tell you, if you don't know George, Mary Lindsay was his wife and a very respected and beloved member of our league for many years. And George is her other half, you know, and stuff. And it works out great because he just lives down the street from me. So, Sandy.
One more slate.
Nominating committee. We have to approve the nominating.
Oh, I thought we included that in the,
They showed up as two different.
sorry. Yeah, it should have been vote to elect officers, directors, and nominating committee were all involved in one. So, thank you. All right. Oh, you guys made the job so easy today.
Just have to, Anitra, can you read what your motion was, please?
Just the officers and directors as presented, and then I need to make a second
No, you
motion.
didn't need to do anything. We voted on Anitra's, we need just to say, just nominating me, yes, no.
Okay, thank you, parliamentarian. Thank you, Anitra. Something for us to remember, Alice, next year. Okay, do I have a motion to accept the nominating committee report or the nominations for the nominating committee?
So moved.
Okay, Anitra, do I have a second?
Second.
I heard even through here. So I've got Peg and others. Okay. All right, it's been moved and seconded to accept the people elected for the nominating committee. Do I have any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hands. Okay, you can put your hands down here, I think.
Well, you gotta have time first before you tell them to put their hands.
Well, I just meant in here. I thought he had. I thought you were quicker than that.
They do it this.
One,
Oh, don't do it in the Zoom room yet.
one neighbor forgot.
Oh,
So I'm scared.
okay.
Okay, we've got 22.
Anybody opposed?
Now they need to put their hands.
Now you put your hands down unless you're opposed. I'll give you a second to put your hands down. Okay.
Hey,
Zero.
All right. Motion passes. Thank you. All right, this is the part of the program where we will take directions from the membership to the board of directors. This is an opportunity, and Sandy, like your comment about the poll workers, getting poll workers is also appropriate for direction, directors from the membership to the board. But does anybody else have any statements or questions to the board while you're here? This is a good time to maybe speak up. Don't be shy. Tim, this time I will get it right. I apologize for that.
Last year, I recommended that we go to the LGBTQ community. I didn't see anything about that here, but are we planning on doing that again this year?
Kelly's not here, but I know that they're working the Pride Festival one place.
yeah, I saw it on the volunteer opportunity page.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I believe we are.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I
Melanie?
think the problem with the big one, the Kansas City one, was it was a 3-day event
Yeah, very expensive.
and very expensive, but there is one, there is one on the calendar,
Inglewood area. Yeah.
Independence, pretty sure.
We've got a pretty quick chat.
Okay,
Yeah, but I'm gonna ask them to type.
okay. Anything else from in here? I will tell you, I will advise you too, that a lot of things are going up on the calendar now on the website. That if you haven't gone in and looked at the calendar in a while, it's a good opportunity to go in and check that every now and then, because people, I know like Greg's entered his 5 ballot measure presentations. Forms will get back on there soon when they get their forms lined up. So that calendar on the website is really a good resource for you to review. Okay, we're waiting for somebody from the chat room.
Also, I would strongly recommend people checking out the volunteer tab.
Yes, and Jim indicated that it's nice for people to check out the volunteer tab as well. And if you have not signed up to be on the volunteer corps, that's something else that you want to check, because then you will also get more information on ways you can volunteer. And that is from a letter that goes out every Thursday, offers volunteer opportunities that you can sign up for, but they're also on the website.
So Reva said there is a pre-Pride month registration at Westport Presbyterian Church on May 23rd.
Okay, so Westport, May 23rd.
Yes.
Okay, that might be something then that we can get on our calendar. Might need to talk to voter services, Kelly, and
I have another comment. Cheryl Upinger said a reminder that the LWVMO State Conference is June 6th, 2026 in Columbia, Missouri. Be sure to register and to attend.
I will tell you, so that was talking about the Missouri State Conference in June. That does, if you want to go, you've got to let me know, because there is a cost to that. Attendance is only in person, and it is $50 a person to go. So let me know if you're interested, because I would have to get board approval, because that was not in the budget. We didn't realize that. That's kind of an explanation. They used to only have it like once a year, but now or once every year, and now they're having them every year. So we've added it into the budget next year. But we already paid for people to go last year, so we didn't have money in the budget to go this year because we're not in that fiscal budget. But if we have people that are interested in going, it's a great opportunity to meet people from around the state. Any other suggestions or directions? Anitra?
I don't know if this is the right place to mention it, but the Forums Committee is looking for a lot for nonpartisan co-sponsors to co-sponsor and promote our forums. We have people like, Chi Omega Tau chapter of
Alpha Kappa Alpha.
Alpha Kappa Alpha,
They don't make it.
the Beta Omega chapter, we've asked the Deltas. We'd like the community colleges and the libraries may or may not get those. Working with other chapters. Anyway, we're attempting to do a primary forum for the 3 US rep districts in western Missouri, because they all pointing in to Kansas City. And we feel that more nonpartisan organizations that support us. So if you are part of a group that is nonpartisan, or has a nonpartisan educational things, please let me or the Forums Committee know so that we can get them. And that's part of our directions to the board that we've already said to, increase co-sponsorship and coordination with nonprofit or nonpartisan organizations. So we're very interested in making those connections. We're doing it now because in June, we will be sending out the invitations for the forums in July. Also, we will be doing state rep offices in October for the November election, because if we did everything, we'd be dealing with 88 candidates. And
So
Yeah.
I'm going to very summarize this a little bit for those on the Zoom room, in that Anitra, the committee chair for forums, is asking for help in finding sponsors or co-sponsors from nonpartisan organization to help them with their forums coming up in the next however many months. And if you have somebody that you can suggest for her, contact Anitra and give her those names.
And it's co-sponsorship and publicity promotion, not stuffing envelopes.
Okay, so it's co-sponsoring and it's promotion materials. Okay. I've got Janice and then I'll come, or was this had to do with what she was? Okay, Janice.
Since our program includes increasing collaborations, do we have a collaboration with the LGBT community? And if not, should we be pursuing it?
I don't know if we have an official collaboration. Oh, Janice asked if we have a collaboration with the LGBTQ community. I don't know if we have an official collaboration. I do know that Voter Services, when invited, participates when they can, and upon request. I think is the only way I can really answer that. We will work with anybody, anytime, anywhere, somebody brings something to our attention, and it comes down to capacity. And that's kind of comes back to the Kansas City Pride Festival, is that's a 3-day event, which takes a lot of volunteer time and it takes a lot of money. So that one is not something that we can do, but we can work at the Independence Pride Fest and others. But it comes down to somebody notifying the membership, and we have people that have the time to go out and do that. So.
Melanie, we do have a member, Jonda, that participates on the Human Rights Commission with, through the Observer Corps. or she has been in the past. I believe she's probably still attending those meetings. And, she reports back to the Observer Corps, with that information. So we do have at least a relationship established with the city of Kansas City.
Okay, great. Thank you. We were reminded that Jonda, one of our members, is on the Human Rights Commission and reports back to Observer Corps. So that might be another way of keeping in touch with everything. Okay. Anne?
Yeah, a direction to the board from Margie Ridge Creek, that we maintain the league's nonpartisan status with vigor.
Yes. So if you did not hear that, that we maintain our nonpartisan status with vigor. And I will tell you, I like that because that's one of the biggest attributes we have going into these next few months is the fact that we are nonpartisan. When you work for the group, you speak for the group, it is in a nonpartisan manner. You can go out as an individual and you can do what you want to as an individual, but don't have your league shirt or a league button or anything like that on. We're not gonna, you can do that, but when you're working with the league, it is nonpartisan. And I think that's an attribute we need to celebrate right now going forward because people want a voice that they can trust. And so we need to honor that. We need to honor our commitment to that. Okay, any other directions at this time? Okay, I do have some announcements and closing remarks. And first off, I know we elected some new, but I just want to talk to you about the people that have been helping run here a little bit. We've had the executive committee is made up of two vice presidents, Janelle Suey and Judy Ann, who's here today. So I want to thank the vice presidents. We've had Secretary Alice Bowinski back there, who's been a tremendous help. She was new. She came in at the same time I did last year. And I think about a year later, we're finally kind of figuring out maybe what we're supposed to be doing. And we're doing it together. So I want to thank Alice for her work, and obviously Treasurer Rita, has done great work. Our board is made up of Cindy Augustine, who also helps with the DEI training, Brandy Blackburn, Janice Comer, Elizabeth Darr has been on the committee, Elizabeth Franklin, Laura Marcus Mountjoy, and Greg Woodhams. They've all been your board of directors, and we meet almost every month and we have special meetings. So I want to thank you for all the work that they've been doing. Yes. We have committee chairs, and I hope I don't forget anybody, but we've got membership and book club by Laura Marcus Mountjoy back here. We have legislative action that works with the state now. It's no longer it's not the Kansas City legislative action team anymore. It's the League of Women Voters Missouri legislative action team, but it was started here in Kansas City by like Ann and Mary Lindsay. Observer Corps is Donna Hoke. Social media communications is Judy Ann and Katie Frackenbaugh and some others. We have new e-voter team of Annette Evans and Jenny Lennon. Our voter services team is led by Kelly Edmondson, and Becky Yockey does the naturalization ceremonies, so you probably recognize their names. Forms is Anitra Steele. We have a new GOTV chairman, Diane Atkinson, who is here today. A newer member that is stepping up. And Corinne Page is also going to continue helping Diane with that. Our Vote 411 team of Pat Goodwin and Peg Prendergast are back here, very important moving forward. Peg also works on the website team. Voter Ed, Greg Woodhams, very busy. Our tech website team, Dave Mountjoy and others. Our membership meetings is Joyce Villeneuve. Google Workspace, I have MJ Polar, who is here. I don't know if Leanne's on the line or not. Oh, there's Leanne and MJ are here. DEI with Cindy Augustine and Ann Calvert. Fundraising is Ann Calvert. So you're seeing a lot of the same names and faces. Get to know them if you want to get busy, because I'm sure that they could put you to work. Couple of other things, there is a power hour coming up on the 18th, again on the 16th, 19th, sorry. The brain only remains tame so much now. If you have not attended, there's over 1,000 league members in the state of Missouri, and they are running about 40, 45 people attending these power hours, and they are wonderful. They are wonderful. And this one especially is important because it's about the income tax, and it's going to be presented by the Missouri Budget Project. So I would urge you to go onto our website, look at the calendar. They have a link. They like you to register, but it's all by Zoom. Starts at 6:30 and it runs for an hour. An hour very well spent. Tuesday, May 12th, next Tuesday in Jeff City, there's 2 cases being heard by the Supreme Court having to do with the redistricting. If you have nothing better to do that day, drive to Jeff City. They're having a rally outside the Supreme Court building. And the rally starts at 10 o'clock. The league was presented at last year's Missouri State Convention an award. And I wanted to present this to the person that led this group, because Greg wasn't at that meeting and Greg never got the picture taken with it. But the league won the Lenore Loeb Sterling Achievement Award for the election administration study done by the League of Women Voters of Kansas City / Jackson Clay Platte counties. Well deserved. And Greg, you're here, so I'm going to present this award to Greg.
Take a picture.
Well, I'm not gonna give a speech.
I want a picture taken of it. Take a picture. Okay. Okay. What's he doing? Okay. Okay. And also on that committee, look, it was Laura, and then some dear friend that we lost, Julie Adolphson, and Stan Sexton was also on that committee. So wonderful work. Another small token of appreciation is Elizabeth Darr has been our nominating committee chair for I don't know how many years. 3, and she's also been on the board of directors for a number of years, and she is going to go off and help forums more and observer corps more, whatever all she does. But I just wanted a token thank you for the work that you have done. And I'm going to turn this over now to Ann Calvert for another little special presentation.
You're gonna say something too.
Yeah, but I'll let you go first.
Okay, I'm sneaking in here. As a favor, I asked Melanie if I could say a few words. Oh, all right. Okay, sorry. Now the Zoom room can see how late I stayed out last night. Okay. All right, as a favor, I asked Melanie if I could say a few words about Rita Goulden, our outgoing treasurer. It is a favor because every single one of you has been touched by Rita in some way, whether you've worked with her directly or even if you're brand new, she still had an effect on your experience here with the league. So it is a favor, and let me tell you why. Rita has been the backbone of this organization for more than 5 years, not just as treasurer. Here's where the favor part comes in. Each of us have benefited from her service to the league, but I'm only going to selfishly talk about what she did for me. As most of you know, I'm the past president of this league. Rita was the head of the nominating committee in 2021, a very difficult job all by itself, but then you add a pandemic onto that, and nobody wants to be taking over a presidency in the middle of a pandemic. Of course not. She had the unenviable task of finding someone to take on the role. When she first asked me if I would consider it, I said no. I had no experience with leadership and had only recently joined the board. She respected that no for a couple of months, but when no other candidate emerged, she asked me again. But this time, she also asked me what she could do to help me feel confident enough to change my no to a yes. I told her what I would need, which was kind of a long list. And damned if she didn't follow through and give me the tools that I needed and the information I needed and the boost that I needed to say yes and to jump in and to do a decent job. Sorry, this is very small time. But these words are important. She was my mentor, my sounding board, my co-strategist, my reference desk, and my friend. LWVKC is a better, stronger, faster organization because of her, and it will not be the same without her. Thank you, my friend, for all you've done for us, for the community, and for democracy.
And Rita, on behalf of your board and committees and people that have worked with you over the years, we do have a special gift for you. But knowing that you were moving, we didn't want to give you something that you had to worry about packing and stuff. So I want to give that to you. Oh, we're gonna. Thank you. Thank you. Oh. Thank you. Darn those nominating committee people for talking people into to doing things. But it does remind me, yeah, it does remind me that, you know, we do need people that to step up in leadership positions. And it would be good if you got that call sometime over the year to say, well, let me think about it. Tell me what it involves and who's there to help me, like a Rita or an Ann. Ann has been a tremendous help to me this last year, and Rita too. But please consider doing that. The only last thing I'm going to do is some of the committee chairs, I think, wanted to make some quick little things, and then we'll be able to move on. I got Greg, I have Laura, I've got Anitra, but you're going to have to come up and talk.
Okay, thanks, Melanie. And let me get here in the line of sight. Okay, all of you here, how many know? Raise your hand if you know somebody that is graduating from high school or graduating from college, or if you've gotten an announcement, or if you have a family member, any of those, any graduates. Okay, we got a good number of. Okay, so you probably with that, you got a request for a gift probably, and we have something to stuff into the envelope. What better thing to give your graduate than these palm cards? And in all seriousness, when you're going off to college, you're not leaving democracy. Okay? If you're graduating from college and you're moving to another town, you're not leaving democracy. But now is the time to begin to plan. Okay? So we've got these palm cards. We're going to have them over on the table. One of them is entitled Going to College Out of Town, Make a Plan, decide whether to vote at home or at college. And the other one is, will you be voting absentee? Because voting absentee is by mail is not easy, and we need to get started now. And for those of you playing the home version of this, we've got this on the website to go to the voter education page. So any questions, feel free to ask me about that, but that's something you can do now. Thank you.
Laura, while you're here. Okay.
I don't really need this microphone. I've got a big voice.
In the chat room.
Oh, sorry about that. Whew, see if I can. All right. Just a reminder that these name tags do not go home with you, right, Anitra? She said hers is on her dresser at home. So be sure and put your name tags. We have 2 bags. One is if your last name ends A through L, and the other is M through Z. So please do that for us. We've had a lot of new members. So one of my next tasks is to get my team together and to go through and add more name tags, et cetera. And we have just grown and grown and grown. Those of you who want to volunteer more, please sign up for the volunteer corps. And we have DEI training this month and next month. So I'm hoping that some of our newer members are listening on the Zoom also, and know that there's a form on the website where you can sign up for that. And actually both of them now are on the calendar. I'll backtrack to that. Just click on the calendar and get yourself registered, because life's only going to get busier for us, especially with voter registration, et cetera. And if you want to do anything public facing with the league, you have to take this training before you can volunteer in that way. So 2 trainings coming up. Don't forget your name tags, and thank you to everyone who volunteers.
Anitra? And I'm not gonna make you, I don't want you to climb over. So I'm gonna, can I just do this? Is that, okay.
Forms committee, we're all online. We use a webinar software to do our candidate forums. This allows us to record them and people to watch them at their convenience. We get 75% of our viewership in the 2 days before an election. We reached over 1,000 viewers for the 8 school board forums that we did. We are looking for tech hosts, people that can run the webinar computer part. Jim has been voluntold. The Montjoys are lifesavers.
We can teach you how to do that. It is so easy to do.
We have written it down step by step. It's a limited 2.5-hour commitment. We also need timers, people that we couldn't organize the monkeys with the sticks and the hooks to pull the people off the stage in their individual homes, but the timers run the time clock for the candidates. The longer they've been in office, the more they want to talk. But so if you'd like to volunteer to go on our list of timers and tech hosts, we're looking for you, because we don't want to wear out the folks that we have. And like I said, it's a 2.5-hour time commitment. So we'd appreciate it. Just contact forums and we'll get you trained and good to go. We're doing Jackson County Legislature and the US Rep primaries for August, and then in October we will be doing forums for the Missouri Rep districts, because we couldn't deal with 98 candidates at one election.
Thank you, Anitra. And I've got Pat. I wanted to just say very quickly, Rita, when you open that card, maybe you've already opened it. Anyway, we know that you're moving to Delaware, so I should admit that we got you something that you can spend your money in Delaware. And we know that you like plants and flowers and everything. So that's what that money is intentionally for. And I wanted to explain that it worked out great because Alice has family members that live where you are moving, and they were able to tell her where to get a gift certificate for the right nursery. So for those of you, I just wanted to explain that that's what the funding is for. And I also want to say, Anitra is my favorite person today. She brought me ginger snaps this morning that will help my stomach when I'm done with this meeting. So, okay, Pat. You might have to. If they're still showing, be careful of all the wires. I know. Okay.
I just wanted to say 3 things about Vote 411. The first is we have flyers over on the table. So if you frequent a place in your community that will allow you to post something about Vote 411, it'll be good for the year. So feel free to grab a few before you leave. The second has to do also with promoting Vote 411. If you would like an organization that you belong to, or your church, or any group, any community group would like to be informed when we publish Vote 411, shoot Peg and me an email at vote411@lwvkc.org, and we will get that on our contact list. We'd like to make sure as many people as possible have access to the voter guide for the next 2 elections. And then the third thing is, if you go to vote411.org now and enter your address, you will not get that cold message that there's nothing going on in your community. You'll actually get a placeholder race that one of our members, Phoebe Roberts, developed. And it gives just a lot of information about the August 4th election, gives some links to where you can get information about registration. And it's a really a nice way to bridge between elections. So thank you.
Any other committee chairs? Ann?
The Zoom room. Okay, I'm gonna cover 2.
We don't need that anymore anyway, do we?
Yeah, that's good, yeah.
Okay.
Are we still in the Zoom room?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, sorry about that. So I wanted to, on behalf of Kelly, who is our voter registration chair, she wanted me to remind everybody to please check the volunteer opportunities page on our website frequently. Events and opportunities are added often. It's been mentioned before, but there is a volunteer newsletter that goes out once a week, generally on Thursday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I say generally because humans are involved in sending that. And the way that you get that newsletter is that you become part of the volunteer corps. I'm going to hang around for a few minutes after the meeting. And so if you want to see how that's done, I'm happy to walk you through it. So just find me and I'll walk you through getting on the volunteer corps.
Do that too.
And then as a fundraising chair, I want to tell you all that we have several fundraising events coming up. One is the Hamburger Mary's event that's already been mentioned, which is on June 3rd. And that's a blast. I'll be there. So that's reason enough to come. I'll make a joke or two. And then we have, in the past, for 3 years, we've done an event called Peace, Love, Vote at the Firehouse. But we decided that we might take advantage of the Firehouse theme, and that's all it means. And so Fired Up to Vote is our new fundraiser. And so that's September 16th. We'd like you all to put that on your calendar, make plans to come to that. It's fun. It's trivia and raffles. And this year we're adding a wine pool. So that'll be a good time. And we'll also need some help. So I'm going to circle back to what Kelly said about checking the volunteer opportunity page, because we'll have lots of opportunities to get involved. Thank you. To go this way, it's a little lower.
Yes.
Any other chairs? I'm also going to, there's t-shirts back there on that table too that are free. Unless you want to donate, but you don't have to. They are free. So please take a t-shirt. Seems like there was one other thing I was going to say, but now I can't remember. That's okay. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting. Do I have a motion? Peg.
I'm so move, we adjourn.
And I have Laura Mountjoy seconded. So it's been moved and seconded that we adjourn this meeting. Any discussion? So, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Oh, chat room, I've got to,
That's okay, they didn't.
okay. I do know what I was going to say. I would,
We're gone already.
I know. I would like to get a picture, if we can, of committee members, board members that are here, and any committee chairs that are here. Thank you for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Okay, I'm afraid to do anything here.